Hey guys, so just wanted to again update everybody on the happenings at Oregon University, and of course, go follow Oregon 24/7 and things for up to the latest news. Oregon 24/7, like Matt Prem does an unbelievable job. There's several others, so I don't work for 24/7, but those guys just do a great job of covering Oregon. But so many other people, like On3 covers Oregon well. Everybody, covers Oregon football pretty dang good. But Carlos Lachlan, man, leaves Dan Lanning. Really, really tough, really sad for Oregon because Coach Locke's one of my favorites. His story about being a police officer and having to then work at Memphis University as a football coach and having to volunteer his time when he was off duty. I mean, he is somebody that literally was just volunteering and loves the game of football, loves the running back position. Coach Lachlan is just, by all accounts, an unbelievable person, and his decision to leave Oregon does not impact the way that I view Coach Locke and his journey and what I take from his inspiring way that he lives his life and coaches up his players. So Coach Lachlan, just again to give background on who he is and who Oregon had and who Ohio State is getting in a running backs coach. Carlos Lachlan is somebody that is one of the hardest workers in the business, that would work like a 20-hour job as a police officer and then would almost go on no sleep just to volunteer his time at Memphis as a volunteer coach with Coach Norvell. This was even before Memphis football was as great as they were, and it was during the years of Paxton Lynch. It was during the years of Tony Pollard, and just an incredible journey there at Memphis, and then worked with Zach Kitley and Ty Helton at Western Kentucky, did a phenomenal job there. And worked with Dillingham and Dan Lanning, and then at Oregon was phenomenal. I mean, you saw what Whittington was able to do, but Bucky Irving from Minnesota, out of Chicago, Illinois, somebody that's going to get drafted in the NFL draft and somebody that is one of the better backs that Oregon football has had in the past 10, 15 years. Bucky was phenomenal. So great coach, great person. Somebody who's very resilient, somebody who works his tail off, somebody that's going to coach you very, very hard and tell you the honest truth. That's what Coach Lachlan was all about. Now Coach Lachlan moves to Ohio State. Maybe he'll have more influence in play calling, probably a salary increase going to Ohio State, closer to his native home of Tennessee. A little north of Tennessee, Ohio, not in the southern region. But again, for plane flights and being with family, that could certainly inspire the move. And Oregon and Ohio State, I actually view Oregon as on pace with Ohio State. And that's going to surprise a lot of people, but I believe that much in Dan Lanning. I think that Lanning is one of the rising coaches in football and can win a national title in the next 2 years, so can surpass Ryan Day. And a lot of people have a negative view of Ryan Day because when Ryan Day plays Michigan or in the playoffs, he loses, but I actually don't. I view Ryan Day as incredibly impressive. I mean, the guy wins 11 games every single year. He loses to Michigan, but he still wins 10 or 11 games. I think he has a 56-5 record overall, which is near a 90% win percentage as a coach. And his recruiting is fantastic. Defensively, they've gotten so much better. And now with Chip Kelly, their offense is going to become a Ryan Day offense, which is what Fields and Haskins and those great quarterbacks and those incredible receivers like Garrett Wilson, Jackson Smith, and Jigba, all these guys that have come through, you're going to see Ohio State football. Chris Olave, you're going to see Ohio State football get back to that. So it's a great football program, so you can understand why Coach Locke moved there. I would have stayed at Oregon with Coach Lanning. I mean, gosh, Coach Lanning just seems like the future of the game. But we're going to see what Oregon does. I'm sure that they're going to go through a process and eventually hire running backs coach. But again, don't rush the hire. Get the right fit, and that's what Dan Lanning is all about, and that's what I think he'll do. Talking about college basketball, wanting to shift gears here to college basketball. Just have loved the tournament. Love how the tournament stays consistent. Love how it's on Turner Sports. Love how you can watch all the games. The app is phenomenal. So fan-friendly, this tournament. 68 teams, and for those Big East teams that are complaining about not getting in, those Big East teams, won like about 20 games. We're squarely on the bubble. And listen, Oregon won a championship. NC State won their conference championship. New Mexico. So there's a lot of teams that stole bids. And getting into the NCAA tournament, it's so great because it's such an exclusive tournament. And the NIT is fine to watch. I mean, listen, really good teams this year in the NIT. But that's what makes college basketball so great. I mean, if Oklahoma would have beat TCU in the Big 12 tournament, they'd maybe be in the tournament. St. John's had some chances earlier in the year. They just weren't as effective earlier in the season. They even had a chance against UConn. They've had their chances. When you play in a power league, you have chances. It's even tougher for an Indiana State that maybe only loses 6 games and has to go to really tough, hostile environments and play Missouri Valley teams that are not rated high by the analytics, but are actually good basketball teams that are being played in Illinois and Iowa and in Indiana. So that's what's tougher. But I love the tournament. I love the way that it is. I love the 68 teams. First 4 I've gotten used to. The late start times do not bother me one bit. I'm a late night guy. I like, watching sports late, waking up late. That's the way that I like everything. And just the tournament to me has just been great. Now, on the court, could things have gone a little bit better? Sure. We could have seen more McNeese State or 12-5s. Could have seen more 13 over 4s. However, you knew that this was a top-heavy with the transfer portal, and with fifth year, it is going to be a top-heavy. But again, I want fifth years. And then to fix the transfer portal in college sports, which is a whole nother conversation, I would probably have college athletes sign 2-year contracts where they could go to the professional ranks, all right, after a year, like say they want to go to the NBA. But if you sign a 2-year deal, coaches then get the opportunity to be around you, for 2 years. And then again, you get paid by the television revenue. So I've adjusted my thinking and have come up with that, strategy based on what a lot of others have, portrayed. So, but the NCAA tournament, I just got to say, it's been great. I want to leave it alone. But so many things that are so great about college football, like all the Power 5 conferences, the Pac-12 dissolving, the ACC dissolving, the Oklahoma, Texas, and the Big 12. So many things that I liked about college football have decided to leave us and be taken away and be subtracted from things that we like, that the NCAA tournament at 68 teams is just so damn good that if they ever were to add in more teams and allow more teams that have more average regular season records, it would dilute the product and make the regular season even just essentially so meaningless. The regular season has been good because of seeding and because teams like St. John's and Seton Hall and because of teams like a Colorado, that's what makes the regular season interesting, is that you're on the bubble and that if you don't perform well, there's consequences for losing. That's what makes regular season play great. You look at pro sports and they allow so many teams into the postseason that the regular season loses its luster. But college basketball at least still has kind of a tighter bubble and a tighter way of getting into the tournament, which is what the regular season makes it more compelling and then takes excuses out of the window. if you don't make the tournament. So I want to keep the tournament, and then my picks. I'll go NC State and UConn. I'll take NC State in an upset. Do I really believe it can happen? I mean, Edie's going to be so tough. But NC State has veteran guard. So let's go NC State and UConn winning the championship. Which, again, dynasties can be good for college basketball. All righty, guys, thank you. There's a possibility that we could be seeing maybe some, new studio or new things going on with Slaughterhouse Sports, which is, potentially really exciting, and we'll see, what transpires. But again, thank you guys, and it's been fun, recording videos here, and appreciate you guys, listening to the show or watching.